Hello everyone. Today we're going back in time. We're now just gonna head over to my makeup collection and basically shop my stash. I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pick out some products that I haven't used in such a long time. So let me see. I usually always go for like my illuminating primers, but I think I might go for something different today. Please excuse my nails, by the way. They're absolutely awful. I've just been wearing polish on them. I might actually give them a wee coat of nail polish before I actually start on the video because they're disgusting. I don't even know what I'm playing at with my nails like this. Waishri, Remercier, Ciate. Might actually take this, the Dior Backstage Primer, Concealer and Cream Bronzer. I might take my Curve Case by Made by Mitchell, so I'll use that for cream bronzer and maybe cream blush, we'll see. And then for concealer, let me see. I'm actually just going to take this because this is a favourite of mine at the minute. Eyeliners, mascara and everything. As you can see, I already have my brows done. I used the Pink Honey eyebrow glue and these two eyebrow products from Glam. That's just what I always use. So eyelash glue from Be Perfect and my P. Louise eyeshadow base. I don't think, because I'm not too sure what I'm doing on the eyes just yet, I don't think I'm going to be picking out any eyeliners or, you know, like maybe any pigments or glitters or anything. But of course, mascara and let me see, a black liquid liner just for now. I'm going to take this one from What's Up Beauty. I'm going to be really boring. I'm going to take this one from Urban Decay to start with because I'm actually just trying to get through it at the minute. And then Miss Glam for my foundation powder to set the rest of my face. But for loose setting powder, I must actually declutter this one. This is from Flower Nose, I think. I never use it. I used it in a video once and it's sat there ever since, so I really must actually declutter and get rid of it. Trigwell Cosmetics. I have been loving this powder recently, so we'll take this one. And like I said, I don't know what I'm doing on the eyes yet, so I'm not really going to be doing anything or looking too much in this drawer until we know what we're doing with the eyes. Foundation. I'm going to be boring here. I know exactly what I'm going to pick. I'm just going to take my usual, what shade is this? Yeah, so N4. My Chroma Cover. And then setting spray, Studio London. Cream blush, as I mentioned there, I might use a cream blush from the Made by Mitchell palette, but do you know what? I have so many cream blush in here, or liquid blush, that I may as well use one of these. I might actually, do you know what? I used this cream blush from Colourpop the other day and it was alright. I think it was just a wee bit too dark for me, or I used far too much, so I'm going to use a lighter shade. So I might take this one here. These drawers are an absolute shit show. Do you know what it is? I really just do not care about my makeup collection anymore. How it looks, I don't really care if it's aesthetically pleasing or anything. Oh, hold on, actually, that might look actually quite nice with the Colourpop blush. And then for bronzer, do you know, I haven't actually used these Sigma bronzers in such a long time. Medium. Might actually take, no, I'll take the medium one. Next up, highlight. At one stage this used to be my favourite drawer and now it's just, I just never really know what highlight to go for. I always just pick something random or like the first highlight that I look at. Or mainly if I'm trying to like hit pan or go through a highlight, that's usually what I'll use. I might actually just take one of these wee Jouet ones. Do you know what, actually, I think I'm going to take, it's actually sitting here right at the top, I'm going to take the Anastasia Subculture palette. I done a makeup collection video there a couple of weeks ago and I had mentioned this palette in it and it actually gave me the idea to use it again. So do you know what, not a better time, right? So I'm going to take this and use it. First off, to prime, this is my Dior Backstage Primer for face and body. I don't really understand where the body's coming from. I don't know who's priming their body. I'm priming it for what? Wouldn't really want to know, to be honest. Not a primer that I use all that often. Don't really know why, to be honest, because it is a really nice primer. It's just a really nice prep and base for makeup, and it makes my skin feel really soft. It's kind of in between like the feel of a moisturizer but also like a pore filling primer as well. You know that silicone-y, silky dimethicone type feel in primers? Hate that. Absolutely hate that. You know, like the Porefessional from Benefit? Loathe that primer. It just, ugh, I hate that feel. But this kind of feels like it, but also moisturising, or having like a moisturising feel to it. And then for foundation, my usual chroma cover from Be Perfect. The joys of having a foundation where the pump doesn't work. It's Friday, don't care. I'm using a dry sponge to blend this out. The lighting is so bad today. Sorry, you're getting like full on cleavage in your face. I think that's too bright. This is the type of thing that I'm gonna just notice whenever I'm editing. Right, okay, we're just gonna continue with my light on. And then we'll see. I hate artificial lighting. Hate it! I just feel like it washes you out and just like nearly perfects everything, like just gives like a filter or something, whereas with natural lighting you get the true colour of the makeup, like the true colour of everything, and it's just so much more natural looking as well. Oh, need to get foundation all over them lips. I've turned my lighting off again, and I'm so sorry if it's worse. It's just such a really cloudy day. It's just one of those days where you might need your lighting, you might not. Have any of you tried this wee concealer yet? The Shea Glam Complexion Boost Concealer. I take the shade Linen, which as far as I'm aware is the lightest shade, but it's brilliant. I highly, highly recommend it because it's Shea Glam, it's really affordable, but it's, do you know what? You see, if you don't like a full coverage, very thick concealer, you might not like it. You might want to stay off it. But because of all those things, because of all those awful things, I love it. It's just amazing. But especially for those days where I'm wanting to do full glam, like today, if I was wanting to do like just a simple wee makeup look, this is not the concealer that I'm going to go for. But it's just the most unreal coverage. And the colour is amazing as well. I usually always like to get the brightest colour, or the lightest colour, sorry, because I love a really bright under eye. But it is effortless to blend out with it being quite thick, you know. It's quite thick and like nearly like tacky and sticky, but it's just got like the most unreal coverage to it. Honestly, I feel like I need to do another Shea Glam video. They're always like constantly releasing new products, like monthly or fortnightly or something, and I love their products. They're probably like one of my favourite affordable brands actually, so I must actually go on and have my nosy and see what new releases they have. I know I have PR coming from Shea Glam. They did reach out to me. Happy days. But I think the one they gifted me, like lip things, I don't actually know, to be honest. I don't really know what I signed up for, but we'll see whenever it comes. By Mitchell curve case. I have the medium curve case, by the way, and I'm taking the shade Teddy Bear. Oh my god. I cannot wait until I have my base makeup done. The noise of my earrings. Cling, clang, cling, clang, cling. Jesus. Because I'm going in with the Anastasia Subculture, the antique. We all know, we all remember the drama that this palette caused back in the day. So it is prone to fallout. I'm not going to finish off my base just yet. Like, I'm not going to set everything in place in case I get like just a lot of fallout. So I'm just going to start on the eyes and then we'll get back to finishing off the skin. So I'm just taking a wee bit of the P. Louise eyeshadow base. What are we going to do with this palette? I remember whenever this palette first came out, I loved it. I can understand where the issues were and where they lay and why people were just on the fence about it or didn't like it or couldn't work with it. At the time, back in the day, this was such an interesting palette to me in terms of the colour story. Like these tones and these shades, I just think they're stunning, absolutely beautiful. And in an eyeshadow palette, this was unique and this was different. I'm gonna take Rowdy, this shade here. I'm gonna start with this. Oh my god, do you remember this? Boop, boop, boop. And then the amount of pigment and fallout. So yeah, that was always like the #1 complaint with this palette, wasn't it? Like the amount of fallout people were getting, like the kickback within the palette. I just feel like it was definitely the formula that was the main reason people were having issues with this palette. It was just very, very hard and difficult to work with. You needed patience with it. You needed to be able to have like the patience to actually sit and work with it and blend the shades and work with the shadows, whereas it just like that's not realistic for like the everyday person. Like you're not going to whip out the Anastasia Subculture palette and do a makeup look or an eye makeup look before you go to work. Realistically, I do have all the time in the world to sit and blend eyeshadow, you know what I mean? Because it is my job. To also make this palette work is to have a bit of a sticky base as well. So the P. Louise eyeshadow base is great for this too. Cleaning that brush off and just going around those edges. Just giving them a wee pat. Mentioned to you not that long ago that me and Kyle were starting to watch Yellowstone. I think we had just started it. We were maybe on season 2. We're now in the last season. Great. Highly recommend it. Love it. I'm now going to go into Axis and see what we can do with this shade here. With this shade, I'm going to take a more flexible, fluffy brush. So I'm going to take one of my Buff and Blend Emma Fleming 04 brushes. Circular motions, and usually with my experience in this palette, a bit of light pressure. Just barely touching my eye at all, just nearly tickling that shadow just to blend it. Like I can even barely feel the brush on my lid. I'm going to use the same brush but a different brush, like a clean one, and go into Rowdy in between those two shades. Just doing a wee bit of blending, and again that light pressure. Also taking the shade Rowdy and bringing it more into the inner corner along the lash line. I'm really stuck with what to do next. I think I love about this palette as well is the fact that there's not a lot of shimmers, but the shimmers that are in this palette, I kind of feel like they don't really make sense. Apart from this one, I like this one. And this one is a bit of a duochrome, but it doesn't go off the eye makeup look. And then this one's just, why is it there? It's like a white, as you can see, but it has like a reflect of like pink or something. I'm not too sure. None of those colours are going to go with this eye makeup look. I might go and see what I have in my collection instead of using a shimmer from this palette and see what we can do. Got this pigment here from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics, Sky Light. I'm kind of liking where this is going, so not taking any more product on that brush. I'm going to start and blend those edges. So I'm going to blend towards the inner corner whilst not bringing it the whole way over to the inner corner, but just blending it. I'm going to go back into one of my blending brushes and blend this wee glitter to the outer corner. Can I go on back in between these two brushes now? One thing I'm really struggling to get my head around is the fact that I do not know where blue came from. Do these shades look blue to anybody? This shade, definitely not. And this shade is more of like a, I want to say like a dark forest green. Like an emerald. Does that look silly not brought over to the inner corner? I quite like it. Back into that first brush, and the first shade is just boop boop. And just a wee bit of pattern just at the outer corner. Colourpop liquid blush. This is their wee new ones. And this is the shade Super Shy. This one actually looks to be blending out nicer than the one I used the other day. I think the issue was I maybe used too much. It was a really dark colour. I just wanted to try it for something different. But the colour was quite intense. And it just looked as if it was blending out patchy. Oh yeah, that's really pretty actually. Trigwell Cosmetics powder. What's this actually called? Just setting powder, and I used the shade 01. I actually really like this powder. It's been growing on me. Wasn't the biggest fan whenever I first used it. I don't know why, I think I was just being a bitch. But but no, it's actually a really nice powder. I think you can get this on TikTok shop. You don't necessarily need to buy it on like Beauty Bay or whatever. I think I did buy it off Beauty Bay though. But you can also get it off a TikTok shop. But it just makes my under eyes so smooth. And it's like the perfect colour as well. Like it has a wee bit of colour with it being 01, but it's mainly like translucent. But it's just a really nice like setting powder. Like it doesn't overly dry my under eyes out or anything. I do like heavily bake and then dust off the excess. But even at that, it just makes my under eyes like really smooth. It just sets them nicely as well. Like I never crease with this powder on. Just a bit of foundation powder over the rest of my face. Be Perfect Cosmetics. And then my favourite wee setting spray. I am having such a hard time with my eyebrows at the minute. Do you ever go through phases with your eyebrows and you just fall out? You just aren't getting along. Things just aren't right. A wee bit of highlight from Jouer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that bronzer. It's nice, but do you know what I think it actually is? See, whenever I use a foundation powder, sometimes it alters the difference or like the colour of my bronzers, or like my bronzer sometimes won't go on nicely or something, or I just like, especially my forehead is caked in makeup. Okay, so I completely forgot to lift out a lip combo, so I just used my Revolution Stiletto lip liner and London NYX lip cream. Just a wee bit of mascara on the lower lash line. Not going to put any eyeshadow on there or anything, just a bit of mascara and that'll do it. One thing I've really been loving though is this NARS Climax mascara on my lower lash line, or like on my lower lashes. Oh. I swear my lower lashes are in better condition and just better overall than my top lashes. That's always the way, isn't it? Whilst doing a really popular 2016 style video, we've also, I feel, unknowingly done a 2016 style makeup look. I'm actually loving it though. It's not what I had in mind. I didn't really have anything in mind, which is what I love about these videos. You never know what you're gonna get. You don't know the outcome. But with this palette especially, I don't know where blue came from. There's not a blue shade in this palette. I don't know. But do you know what? Like, as you've seen, how well did this palette go on, apply, blend? The pigment was still there for the edge of it. Like, this palette is actually really, really old. Love it. Still love it. Still love it. Color story. I still have no problems with it, as you've seen, in terms of applying it, blending it, etc. Just really confused with where like the blue came from, but overall I'm actually really happy with the eye makeup look. It's really, really pretty. Love the wee pigment from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. I will have everything listed and linked down below in the description box. I know I haven't been doing that for months at this point. I'm gonna get back into doing that, so all the products that I have used here will be listed and linked down below in the description box for you. Please go and follow me on TikTok. I have started to frequently upload onto TikTok, so please go and follow me over there, and I hope to see you in my next one.